Hi everyone, welcome. I'm FPLMattDay and this is Gameweek 38, deadline stream, final game week of the season. And I'm joined by two fellow FPL Australia content creators. We've got Quinton, regular on this podcast from at FPL Amateurs of Oz, and we've got FPL Roo, a fellow Spurs fan as well, on the podcast for this week. We're going to preview all of the fixtures, give our favourite picks and scores for tonight's games. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe, give the video a like as well, and get your questions in because we're here to answer those last minute decisions as well. But we'll start off with the Q, and then we'll go to Roo after. But Q, how you been, mate? So I think it's been a while since we've been on a stream together. So yeah, it's good to have you on for the last one.
Yeah, no, not too bad, mate. Just carrying on my fledgling career as an amateur footballer. For Musselbrook, and just copping a few red arrows along the way.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling with the well, I've had a couple of green arrows, but I feel like I fell behind in mini leagues. So I've been trying to make a lot of captain changes just to chase people in leagues, and I've kind of dropped off to where I wanted to end. But yeah, it's all in good fun. And Roo, how you been, mate? Great to have you on.
Yeah, been good. The weather's starting to change here in Australia. I don't know about you guys, but got the jumper on, and everything else been good. FPL had a good few weeks. Up to about 160k, so hopefully finish the season off well.
Yeah, nice one, mate. That's good. Good to hear about your team and stuff. And it's definitely cooled down a little bit in Melbourne, which you'll see this week, Roo, because you're down for the Spurs Newcastle game, which is mad to think that this is the last day of the season today, and then Spurs and Newcastle playing a friendly in 2 days, 3 days in Australia. It just makes no sense.
I know. Yeah, by the time they get here, they're going to have to be on the pitch.
Yeah, they literally arrive Tuesday, and
they'll have their
Tuesday and train. Yeah, it's insane. But anyway, we'll share screen and we'll go through the fixtures. So I'm just going to bring them up now. Obviously, we have still got a couple of things outside of FPL to play for. We've got the no relegation. That's all done. Unless is it if Forest lose and Luton win like 10-0 or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think they've got to make up like 20 goals or something. So it's doable.
Yeah. It's doable. And then we've got a few European places in sort of 6th and 7th, I think, with Chelsea, Newcastle, obviously Spurs for 5th with Chelsea.
Yeah, we can accomplish our dream of winning the Conference League next season, but I'm actually torn. I don't know whether I want us to actually qualify for European football. I think we just need to sort out our squad, because I couldn't imagine wheeling out Johnny Evans with 45 games next season. So
and let's do a quick run round. I think I know the answers to one of the panels on this one, but we'll do a quick. I'll ask Q first. Obviously, the title race is still going. Q, who do you think is going to win the league, and who do you want to win the league, and why?
That is actually a very funny question, because I don't want Arsenal to win the league just for their fans, the annoying fans that I usually that I'm mates with. But in generally, I'd actually like Arsenal to win the league. I think it's good to see a different side win, and I think I've just gotten numb to City winning trophies now, so I'll just go, yeah, whatever, as long as it's not Liverpool. So, but I think actually West Ham could make it pretty tough for City. Like, I just have a feeling that there's going to be what was it the year was United and City vying for the title and had the Aguero last minute goal. I think it's going to be along those lines. I feel like Arsenal are going to be up. It might be a draw in the City game heading into the last 10-15 minutes, and I think it could be a bit of a cliffhanger.
Mate, you're scaring me. You're scaring me, but you've got your own. It's good to hear that you're after a different story. But Roo, to be honest, I don't even know if it's worth me asking Roo, because I think I've spoke to him most days this week, and I already know what answer he's going to give. But we'll ask you anyway, mate.
Manchester City. To be honest, I don't think Everton's going to be an easy game for Arsenal. I think defensively they're half decent. Everton. I think Arsenal will win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they'll both be tough games. It's always like that in the last day of the season, when there's teams challenging for the title, and yeah, obviously my preference is the same as Rue's. I'd prefer to see City win it. It's a shame because they'll be on for 4 in a row, and you kind of don't want to keep seeing the same teams win it. But yeah, we just have to. As Spurs fans, that's what we've got to do. So look, we'll go into the
City fans 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, City to July, as the song
City
goes.
to July. All right, we'll share screen. We'll bring up some comments that have come in, and then we'll go through the first few games. Christian, it's a dream team of all dream teams right here. Yeah, it's great to have all of us on. I think we'll try and next season, hopefully, we can try and get all 3 of us on each other's podcasts and streams a bit more often. And obviously, we've got the Euros coming up, so I'm sure we'll do a bit of stuff then as well. Carl Finn, hope you're good, mate. So he's level in a mini league, but not happy with overall rank. Would you play safe and captain Haaland, or take a risk and captain Son or Palmer? Well, for myself, like I'm in a point in mini leagues where I'm kind of sort of gonna stay where I'm positioned. So I'm gambling with a captain change. I'm probably gonna go. I want to go Son as a Spurs fan. Not really sure on our form if he's going to be sort of the one that's worth doing, but yeah, I think Palmer at home to Bournemouth, you probably can't go wrong. I'd probably take a slight risk on the last day of the season, but yeah, Q and Rue, what do you think on that one?
Yeah, I think if you're not first, you're last, so I reckon take the risk.
Yeah, no, that's fair, Rue.
And I like Son this week.
Yeah, I think take the risk, but I don't know if it's like a captaincy option, take the risk. Maybe it's an extra player, because if he's on the same amount of points, I don't know if you need to take that much of a risk. But
play mind games with the other person in the league and say, "I'm really thinking about taking a differential punt," and then make them make that decision and then just go Haaland.
I think it's not a bad idea. Like Rue was saying, if you're equal on points or you're a couple of points behind, you stick with Haaland, and then you maybe, as long as the problem is right now is there's too many teams that are very, very similar. So to gain any rank, you've got to literally pick someone that's like 2% owned, that's got a good fixture that you know is going to start. So I think if, like Rue said, if you're kind of level on points, then maybe stick with Haaland. But like you was saying, if you're kind of not, then take that risk. Welcome to the stream, Matt. I hope you're good, mate. Q just dropping a quick comment in there as well. 3 Spurs in one place. And Christian just saying his team for today: Vicario, Dalot, Byrne, Walker, Son, Foden, Palmer, Elise, Johnson, Mateta, Haaland, and Isak on the bench. So very strong team for Christian. So let's go through the first fixture. We'll do Arsenal, Everton. I'll give my prediction first, then I'll sort of name the players I like. So I reckon Arsenal will win this game. So good defensively, but I actually think Everton might scare them a little bit with a goal. I'm going to go 3-1, and I think Havertz, Odegaard are probably going to be sort of, and Trossard are the players that I like for this one. And I think there'll be some nerves. I think Everton will either equalise or maybe go 1-0 up, and then Arsenal will end up winning the game. But I'll go 3-1, and I like those attacking players for Arsenal this week. We'll start with UQ on this one, and then we'll get Rue's thoughts.
I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. I think that they can keep it. I think they're going to be quite not as attacking. I think they're going to try not to risk it too much because they have the goal differential advantage over City. They just need to get the win. So I think they could be a little bit less attacking and more defensive and still get the win, but I think it's going to be quite tight in that game. And I think Havertz, like you mentioned, great pick. I think, was it 3 assists and a goal in his last 3 games? So he's probably the man in form, and Saka's got a good sort of last couple of games against Everton. So I think those 2 are probably the 2 players I'll be looking at.
No, I like it. And I think you're right. Probably a really good game for someone like Havertz. I think this one, he's definitely shown form lately. Rue, what do you think on this one, and who your picks?
Yeah, I think 2-0 Arsenal. I think like Q said, they're going to be. They don't need to score many goals. They need to get the 3 points and put the pressure on City. So I think they'll try and do that early on, and then maybe just see out the game. And for me, Havertz as well, to be honest. I can't believe I'm saying that Havertz is a pick, considering like what he's done the last few years. He hasn't really looked that great, even at the start of the season. But yeah, I think Havertz is a nice shout. And I think with Saka, I'm pretty sure Saka's still flagged. So I don't know. Some people might be wanting to bring in an Arsenal mid. I don't know if it's worth going for Saka if he is still flagged. I think he'll play, but I don't know if it's worth taking that risk with the last game of the season.
No, I agree. And then think about Saka, he's flagged, but you just never know with him because he seems to limp for 90 minutes anyway. You never know if he's fit or not fit. So, but no, I like the predictions there from Q and Rue. We'll bring up a couple of comments. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Go check out at FPL Rue as well on YouTube. Give him a subscribe, and Quinton at FPL Amateurs of Oz as well. Go check both of them out. Get any questions in as well. We'll bring up some comments before we go to the next game. So Christian's third in his mini league. He's 176 points swing to win it all. Don't worry, I know the feeling. Welcome to the stream, Dave. Rue's asking about second place as well. Best free hit differential team. Best free hit differential team in your guys' opinion. Oh God, that's a fair one to build if we're going to build a free hit team now. But just off the top of my head, I would say, Dave, definitely have 3 Arsenal. I would have 3 City, and that would probably be Gvardiol. Oh, but it is differential, isn't it? Probably have 3 Arsenal, and I'd probably focus on like Havertz, Trossard, and maybe David Raya. And then I'd look at City, probably like Bernardo Silva if you want to go different. I'd definitely still have Haaland, and then maybe go like Kyle Walker if he's good to go as a defender. And then I reckon Chelsea, it's worth looking at maybe like a Gusto or a Jackson. What differentials do you boys think would be good for if you're building a free hit team outside of those guys? Is there anyone else you would look at this week? I think Elise is another one, and Eze from Palace. But is there any other teams or players you think you really need to focus on? We'll start with you, Rue, on this one, and then we'll go to Q.
I really like the look of Nkunku. I think no one will go for him, but he did come on for Modric, like around just after half time, I'm pretty sure, in their last game. So he's had a few minutes now off the bench. He got a goal as well. And I think he starts this game. So I think he could be a nice option to go for. And then if you can get Salah in that, and then maybe a few of the Palace boys, I think are nice picks in terms of differential for this week.
No, I agree. It's a good shout on Salah, actually, because it's Klopp's last game. We'll obviously go through Liverpool shortly, but this could be a sort of last hurrah for Salah and Klopp potentially. We obviously don't know what Salah's movements are going to be in the summer, so yeah, I think that's a really good shout. And obviously, and Nkunku was probably one we all thought was going to be really good for FPL this season. And I think, if he can have a good game and score today, then he might be someone that we look at next season, and he could be featuring a lot of our teams potentially. So yeah, that's a really nice pick. What about you, Q? If you're on a free hit, what sort of players would you be targeting that are differential on a free hit?
I actually think looking at a Rodrigo Muniz or a Carlton Morris up top in that fixture, because Luton, yes, there's no way they're going to score 20 goals, but I think that they all want to make a good account for themselves. And I think Fulham the same. I think that could be a high scoring fixture. It wouldn't surprise me to see it like a 3-3 in that game. And I think Muniz and Morris are 2 picks that you could be looking at as like a third striker option. I think Eze or Elise, but I like Eze in this game. I actually got a feeling this could be one of those Eze games where he gets like 2 goals. So I think he's a great pick. And I think the double Arsenal defense over the double attack. So I'd be going to White and Saliba and then maybe going to Havertz. But I wouldn't be against doing an all 3 defense from Arsenal, going White, Saliba, Gabriel, and having Gvardiol as your 4th and playing 4 at the back.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. I like the differential pick of Muniz from Fulham, because that Luton game, like they're pretty much down, and like they've got to attack, and you can sort of see Fulham coming out in that one, scoring about 3 or 4 and just ending Luton's Premier League hopes even more. So yeah, I think that's a really good shout. And obviously, if you are on the free hit and you can then get the triple Arsenal defense, and you're probably looking pretty good.
Actually, M. Dooney as well from Burnley.
Okay, it's a big shout.
So he's got 2 goals in his last 2 games against Forest.
Okay, yeah, that would be really differential on a free hit. So, so that's probably the good thing about doing a free hit on the last day of the season is you can just
I'm
go.
jealous.
Yeah, same. I was thinking that. I'm jealous.
Yeah, That's brilliant. If you can just go mega differential and just have, an absolute wild week. So, good luck, Dave. We'll bring up some more comments. Christian just needs 171 points per second. So, not asking for that much. FPL Planner, welcome to the stream, mate. How are we all feeling tonight? Well, I'll start with myself. I'm kind of just pretty relaxed about the last day. I'm starting to plan now for the last game week for Champions League fantasy and then Euro fantasy. And then I think for FPL, when I captained Palmer in game week 36 over Haaland and Haaland got 4 goals, that kind of made me think, all right, I'm kind of done in mini leagues now. So, differential captain for me tonight and stuff. And then Q, what about yourself? How are you feeling for the last game week?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm actually going to be doing my 2 transfers live on this stream. I'm just wanting to bounce ideas off you throughout the stream to make my last 2 transfers. But I'm actually in our mini league, the one that you're in as well, Matty. I've actually made the FA Cup final. It's the second leg this week, and I've got a 2-point advantage against my opponent. So I've got a bit riding on tonight to at least get a bit of prize money out of what's been a quite deflating end to the season.
Yeah, that's huge. At least you got something to play for. So, that's exciting, Q. So, obviously going to need to pick those 2 transfers a bit more carefully. What about yourself, Rue? Strong end to the season. So, how are you feeling about the last game week?
Yeah, no, feeling good. Obviously, I was on loan to Man City last week, so it's good to be back back supporting Spurs this week. And looking forward to the last game week 38. To be honest, I've had a pretty good last few weeks, and I'm about 30-40 points clear at my main mini league, the Bragging Rights mini league. So I didn't win it last year, and I won it 4 years in a row. So it'll be good to get the title back if I can hold on. But see what happens.
No, that's awesome, mate. I remember you saying, I think we did a couple of streams at the start of the season. I remember you saying you had a mini league that you just really want to win, and with all sort of your mates and stuff, and to be 30 or 40 points clear of that on the last day of the season, that's a big weight off the shoulders. I think when you see, for me in a couple of those sort of similar leagues I'm in, I've not made the cut this year, kind of sort of sitting 3rd or 4th, and I lost my way by doing a late wild card. It just didn't work. I think if I was able to get that wild card around the game week sort of 32-ish, just before Spurs got hammered by Newcastle, that was when my season got derailed from there. And I think that cost me in that kind of friends mini league, which I didn't do well in last year either, when Haaland was obviously banging in so many goals at the start. So next year needs to be the year that I get back top of that league, and hopefully in 12 months I'm sitting in that league like you, where I'm in that mates league and I'm 40 points clear and I can feel happy. I think if you're 10 points or higher clear of a mini league tonight, you probably, if you're anything up to sort of 10 points, you're probably feeling a bit nervous. But I think if you're I think 30 points or more, you're pretty much safe tonight.
Yeah, I think the fact that the second place won it last year, so if it wasn't him, I probably would have been a bit more relaxed. But now I just think I just need to just do my job and just see it out. Really, just don't do anything too over the top, and just be a bit boring, I think.
Yeah, you're a bit you're just obviously the Man City thing. It's just everyone's just let's just let them win the league, because it's get it done. It's kind of boring now, but you just need it. You need it done. You need it done just to put your mind at rest.
Yeah. There's another one where I'm 100. There's only 6 of us in another one, and I'm 100 clear or whatever. So that one I'm just chilled. But this one is the bragging rights one, so it means more.
Awesome, mate. You're in a that's a nice position to be in. I'm hoping this time next year I'm in the same in my kind of bragging rights league. But it wasn't to be this year. Next year, hopefully it's different. We'll bring up the rest of the questions in a sec. So just keep getting your questions in. We'll quickly preview. Actually, let's go through the questions now, and then we'll preview the rest of the games. So we're getting some good questions that are coming in. So Q has asked. Actually, we've got one here from Christian. Wild differential if fit. Bron Larson always seems like he's going to score. Q, thoughts on that one?
I don't hate it, actually. And we've been speaking about differentials in the last game week of the season. There's every chance that he could. He's looked really good lately, so Yeah, I actually don't mind it as a bit of a differential because I doubt he'd be over 1% owned. I think he'd be quite lowly owned.
Yeah, no, I agree. Christian loves the ultimate differential. So, like, fair play to him if he picks him and he does something, especially Forest at home. Jamie Fleming giving FPL Rue a nice little hello there in the comments. Q's just asking FPL Planner, what are your moves this week? James, hope you're good, mate. White and Son or Trent or Havertz? You know what? If you're going differential, Trent is an interesting one with the Wolves home game, but I think Liverpool are going to come out and win that game 4 or 5-0. But who would I pick if I was going the two? It's probably White and Son, just because of the Sheffield United game and Ben White being so good this season in FPL. But yeah, tricky one. What would you boys do, Q? What do you think?
What was that? Sorry,
White and Son or Trent or Havertz?
White and Son.
White and Son.
That's actually two really good. I think I might go White and Son because I'm pretty confident that Arsenal keep a clean sheet, and as me and Rue said, I think it could be quite tight. So I like you're almost making 6 points with White, and I think Son could go 10 plus this week. So I think there might be a little bit more upside.
No, I like that. I think, look, if you're playing safe, I would go White and Son. But if you're playing like, chasing those 20, 30 pointers, then I'd probably say Trent or Havertz. What do you reckon, Rue?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. If you're chasing, then I think Trent and Havertz probably lower owned. I don't think many people are going to be going Trent, to be honest, and I don't think Liverpool are even that good defensively at the minute. But Trent is good, can score 2 in a game or goal and assist.
No, 100%. Trent's been a shame this season, I think, in FPL because he's normally so good. And he was looking like he was picking some form up, and then he got that injury, didn't he? And then he come back, and it looked like he might do something. And there was that free kick he got a few weeks back. I think it was in the Fulham game, and yeah, it just hasn't been for Trent. Do you think next season, Rue, that we will see maybe Trent's price drop a little bit?
It's got to, surely, because what did he start with? 8.5.
I mean, it was 8.5, wasn't it, this year?
Yeah, he's got to go to at least 8, 7.5. I think.
I reckon he goes back down to 7.5. Oh, $1 million is a lot to lose, but we've got to be realistic. Like, Liverpool are going to have a new manager. Not sure how defensively tight they're going to be. He's just not performed like an 8.5 million defender this season. I think 8 million. Yeah, you're probably right. Like, if they give him the 0.5, definitely the 0.5. I think if he comes in at 7.5 and he's fully fit, ready to start the season, and Liverpool have a good run at the start of next year, I think we'll start seeing Trent back in our teams again.
Yeah, and we don't know. We've never seen Trent do well under anyone but Klopp in terms international club. So who knows? But I think this manager's meant to be pretty attacking. I had a look at him when we were linked to him last year, and he looked pretty attacking. So maybe it'll be a good thing for Trent. Yeah.
Could be a positional change or something as well for Trent that might happen. So we'll see. We'll keep bringing up the comments. So if you've got questions or anything like that, get them in, and then we'll go through the fixtures after. So Planet is going to be doing Salah in and captain, which I think is a really good pick. Either selling Son for free or selling Gordon Isaac for 4 and keep Son. Would Son score greater than 4 points more than Isaac? It's an interesting one. Isaac's got Brentford away. I'd probably say if Newcastle were to score 2 goals or more in that, you'd expect Isaac to get a goal of it. So maybe 8 points because he's quite good with bonus. And then Son away at Sheffield United does like to flurry in the last day of the season. At least a goal or 2 from Son, but it's hard to tell with Spurs at the moment. Like, I know it's Sheffield United, but like, we're just not quite clicked into gear for a while, even in the Burnley game. But it's an interesting one. Send Son for selling Gordon Isaac for -4 and keep Son. Would Son score 4? I don't know. I don't know if Son is going to score more than 4 points than Isak, to be honest, because Isak, all it takes is for him to grab a goal and get one of his pens if he takes it over Wilson. So yeah, I think Salah and his captain's a pretty good bet. Wolves at home. Wolves' form's dropped. I can see Liverpool scoring quite a few goals in that. What do you reckon on that one, Q?
I actually like the second option. Was it the last game last season? Brentford. Who did they beat in the last game of the season last year? Was it
Brentford.
Arsenal?
Oh.
It was someone. They upset someone. I could see this fixture. Like I could see maybe Wilson. Is Wilson fit?
Callum Wilson.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not sure. Like, you never know with Eddie Howe. I think they've both come back from illness, so I honestly reckon Newcastle will just start both.
I wouldn't surprise me to see maybe like a 1-0 win to Newcastle or like a 1-1 type game. Whereas I feel that Sheffield United, they're out. I don't think they're going to really do anything. And I think after last week's performance, not that he's played bad against City, but I could see Ange during the week sort of telling players, go out there and show me what you got, because he's going to be ruthless next year. He's going to be getting rid of players. So I actually could think tonight's going to be a massive performance from Spurs, and I could definitely see like a 5-0, 5-1 type game with Son getting a double or more.
That'd be nice. Okay, interesting thoughts from Q. Rue, what do you reckon on what do you reckon on FPL planners' plans?
It is a tough one, because like 4 points is a lot, and you're starting behind at the end of the day. I think I'd probably do the -4, to be honest. I think the fact that obviously Son gets the extra point for clean sheet and the goal, stuff like that, so it is easier for him to make that up. And I think it is obviously a better fixture for Son. So I think go for the -4.
Well, there you go, plan. You got 2 -4s, and then you got me just saying play a bit safer and just go all out with Salah captain.
Just a City fan telling you not.
It's a hard one though.
It is hard. I just look at it and think, once you take the hit this week, there's no other weeks that you're going to be able to kind of make it up. Yeah. Obviously, you're counting on this week to make it up. Look, Son could come out and grab a couple of goals. We've seen him do it on the last day of the season. But Isak could start that game away at Brentford. Newcastle could score a couple. He's going to be involved in at least one of the goals. It's just what he does. And then Salah at home to Wolves, Klopp's last game at Anfield. I think that's a really good captain option. So, lots to think about for Planner. We've got a question here. Are you going to play the FPL EFL? I'm going to assume he means Euro Fantasy League. I am.
I think they've just released a Championship League 1, League 2 fantasy. So FPL,
I thought they already had
for
that.
the
Or is
lower
this
leagues.
A new one? Okay.
Not
Is
sure.
it through the FPL?
Something like that. I'm not sure. I have to check.
Yeah. You know what? With Euro Fantasy, take Euro Fantasy aside. With Champions League Fantasy Premier League, and playing a bit of FIFA on my team, I just don't know if I'm going to have the time to do FPL, EFL type of stuff. I did do Championship Fantasy years ago, and a long time ago, and I got a really good score within the first sort of 1 to 5 weeks of the season, and I just didn't keep track of it. I think it's one of them. If I supported a team in the lower leagues or in the Championship, I'd probably definitely play it, but I don't think I'm just not going to have the time with all the other fantasy leagues I play, unfortunately. What about you boys?
I probably will, just so I have a chance to triple captain Paul Mullen for the mighty Wrexham in League 1.
It's not a bad shout, actually. Yeah. What about you, Roo?
I don't know. I don't think so, but it'll be interesting to see how it works, because if it's all leagues, then that could be 3 different leagues with so many different fixtures. I'm not sure how they're going to separate it, but it does look like it's all of the EFL, which is the 72 teams outside the Premier League. So if it's 72 teams you can choose from, it's going to be a wild game.
Wow, it's going to be combined between all the leagues.
Is it? Is that what they said?
So it's going to be combined for all the leagues.
Yeah, that's
just
nuts.
Not the
I'm all about that. That sounds awesome.
That's nuts. I guess it's kind of like I know it's not as many teams, but it's like the Champions League where you have the group stages. You got to pick between all those clubs anyway, and it does get difficult because you're left with all these strikers, all these other good options, and that's really interesting. But we'll see how that pans out. Football chat box. Hope you're good, mate. We're good. Good luck as well for the final game week, mate, and hopefully you hit your subscriber target. I saw that the other day, so. Everyone give Football Chat Box a subscribe on his YouTube if you haven't done. And then we've just got a couple of hellos in the comments. Planner, Spurs fan telling me to sell Son. Interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. Well, it's hard because I wasn't a Spurs fan last week, and now I am again, as we were saying before the stream. Yeah, I think it's tough. I think, yeah, it is a tough one. That someone like now I think about it, it's like I do think he scores against Sheffield United, but yeah, like if I could get Salah in my team this week, home to Wolves, I would just do it based on all of the history Salah's had in FPL under Klopp, and also on the basis, like, imagine if Salah's not in the game next season. Like, it'd actually be awful for, like, you know, the game, the history of FPL and Salah. And yeah, I think it's a good moment if you can do it. But at the same time, I'm not sure what your rank plans are now, or your mini league plans are and stuff. Like, I think if you maybe playing that a little bit safer, then yeah, Son's probably someone you then keep, because yeah, it is a good fixture at Sheffield United. But yeah, lots of decisions to make on this last day.
Who would you pick out? Because I'm going to be getting out KDB this week, and I'm either going to go Eze or Salah.
It's got to be Salah, mate. After what I just said,
has to be.
Yeah. Has to be Salah. I think, like, I know he's not shown great form, but yeah, I think Liverpool gonna win that by like 4 or 5 goals. I don't know why. Maybe Klopp's last game. Wolves have just dropped off the face of the earth the last few weeks. I know they've got a few injury problems themselves and stuff defensively. Yeah, and it's one of those typical end of season on the beach type of games where, like, you can see a couple of players for Liverpool just coming out and getting like massive scores, and you're just thinking, like, where were those scores when I needed them a few weeks ago? Like, you can just imagine it. It's always just the way. But Christian is going to head off to archery practice 2 silvers in a row. So trying to get a 20 centimeter target, 54. Try and get first at the end of the month. Good luck, mate. It's been great to have you on the streams this season, mate. We've loved having you in the comments. I know me and Rue look forward to all your questions coming in and stuff. So yeah, we absolutely love it. And then, like I said before, check out Football Chat Box. Check out FPL Rue as well, and at Quentin FPL Amateurs as well. So if you haven't done, and subscribe to this channel if you are new. We'll bring up the question from FPL Cortex in a second. Let's try and do some quick fire previews of the games. We've only managed to get through one, which is good because it means we've got questions. But let's do Brentford, Newcastle. I'll just do my quick fire thoughts. I think Newcastle are going to win 2-1. I do think Isak will score. I think Wilson will score. I think they'll win the game 2-1. Tony will grab a goal before he gets his move. That's where I see that one. Q, thoughts?
I think Newcastle will scrape a win. I think 1-0. I was looking at the history of this fixture, and Newcastle have never been beaten by Brentford since Brentford have been promoted. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Decent. Who's your pick for Newcastle?
Yeah, I think probably Isak's probably the best pick, but I actually wouldn't mind a pick on Trippier.
Yeah, it's not a bad chat.
Go for the clean sheet, maybe an attacking return. But if they do get the clean sheet, you guarantee that Trippier will be finishing on max bonus if it's not too high scoring.
Yeah, always. Yeah, it's another one as well. Trippier, when he sort of had his injury problems and stuff, that was obviously a shame. I wonder what we'll see his price at next season. Always a good FPL asset to have. Remember how good he was last year. Rue, what do you think on this one?
I actually think Brentford. I think Newcastle are not that great away from home. So I've gone 2-1 Brentford, and I've gone for Visser. So he hasn't started the last few games, but one assist off the bench last game week. So I think he has to start, surely.
Visser.
After doing that off the bench.
He's always a handy player for Brentford, and he's always in some good positions. But yeah, he just gives me so much nightmares because I had him at the start of the season. He went on that. He had that good form. Do you remember? The first week I didn't have him, and he was unreal. And then I thought, like, this guy, he's got to come in Tony's banned or whatever. And he didn't hit a goal for and he hit the bar. He had a disallowed goal. I was like, this is a joke. And then the week I take him out, he scores or gets an assist. It was just it was horrendous. So. But yeah, good luck to those that bring Visser in this week. We'll quickly do the Brighton United game as well. So we've heard that De Zerbi's going to leave Brighton. Not huge amounts to play for, I don't think, in this one, other than United trying to secure that Conference League or maybe Europa League if they win. I need to have another double look at the table, but I do think Man United might actually come away with something, maybe a draw, 2-2. I think there'll be a few goals in this. United have got the FA Cup final at the back of their minds as well. I think this could be a good game week for Bruno Fernandes, maybe Højlund. From a Brighton perspective, Danny Welbeck always seems to find goals at this time of the season. We saw him do it the other night as well. But would I be buying Brighton players? Probably not. Would I be buying Man United players? Probably not. But I'd keep the likes of Bruno or Højlund if they're in your team, because I think this could be quite an open game. We'll start with you, Roo. What do you think on this one?
I think Brighton are gonna win this game. To be honest, I think Man United are just going to be thinking about the final now, and I guess De Zerbi's last game. I don't even know if he's going to go anywhere or if he's been sacked. I don't really understand what's going on, but yeah, who knows? Maybe to Man United, that would be quite funny. But yeah, for me, João Pedro, I think, is a good option to go for cheap. Not many strikers about at the minute, to be honest. And yeah, I think he can get a few goals in this game. So yeah, 3-1 Brighton.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I like the João Pedro pick as well, by the way. But yeah, it's interesting about De Zerbi. I've got a feeling like, yeah, United, it could be somewhere. Could see Ten Hag go to Bayern. They're looking like they're trying to find someone. He obviously used to work there as Pep's assistant, I think, or something. And then he could end up at United, De Zerbi, because he's got that football style that United just need a change in the way that they play. I always get this strange feeling he's going to maybe end up at Chelsea. I don't know why. Like, there's been a bit of talk about Poch, actually being told that he's not the man. Like, they don't, even though the players like him, obviously the fans aren't keen on him. There's a few talks that he might be out the door, which I think would be, obviously, like from a non-Spurs point of view, I think it will be a poor move by Chelsea. But from a Spurs point of view, it's also nice to see him out the door after a year. But I can see him sort of being there. It's either Man United or Chelsea. But yeah, we'll see. I think he's obviously been brilliant for Brighton. But Q, what are your thoughts last day of the season for Man United before obviously an FA Cup final? Is there anyone you like in this game?
This is going to contradict what I'm about to say after this point here. But United, they've only won one of their last 4 fixtures against Brighton, so it's not looking very bright for United. But I think United win 3-1. So yeah, that's what I mean. It contradicts what I'm going to say, but I actually think Bruno Fernandes. I'm seeing talk around that Rashford should be fit for this game, but I'd like to see him play, but I don't know whether they're going to risk him with the cup final coming up. So
does he even want to play?
Yeah, does that mean anything?
I heard a rumor today that apparently players have been saying that they're still injured, so they don't have to play for Man United, which I'd probably Mason Mount, which
strange.
Anyway. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes actually he's not very highly owned. Like I think he's 14%, maybe 13% owned, but I think he's a great pick for this fixture. He played up top, which I didn't really like last week, but the week before, I think he had 9 or 10 chances created in the first 21 minutes, but United just couldn't finish anything. And I think this could be a game where United, just being United, of course, desperate to play in the Conference League next year, we come out and win 3-1, 4-1, and wouldn't surprise me if Bruno had sort of like a 20-point haul this week.
Yeah, no, I like the confidence, and obviously I'm just having a look now. Spoke about Bruno Fernandes. Some of his results, obviously, he was injured. He played in Game Week 37, got an assist. Had those couple of games he missed with injuries. But Game Week 34, Game Week 33, he hit double digits. Game Week 32, Game Week 31, he hit pretty good scores. Game Week 28, double digits. I'm wondering if United do go with someone like De Zerbi next season, start playing, a bit more progressive in their football. If Fernandes might end up being, because if he shows his form again at the start of next season, I wonder if he'll be someone that we look at in our teams again more next year, because he's £8.5 million this year. And when he's on form, Fernandes, I feel like he's more of a £9 to £10 million kind of FPL asset. So, I think he's one to keep an eye on for next season. He's definitely shown some good form at the back end of this year. So, yeah, good pick, I think, Q, for this game week. Let's go through these couple of comments that come in. Planner, thanks for joining the stream earlier. Enjoy your nap tonight before the games. Cortex, he's asked Isak to Gakpo and Doughty. Trent and Palmer captain -4. Seen a lot of people talking about Isak being sold in their teams. Like what I will say is I like the Gakpo pick at the expense of Isak on a -4 to then bring Trent in for Doughty. You know what? I think Trent's a better pick than Doughty. Is Gakpo a better pick than Isak? Probably not. But then you captain in Palmer. Sounds like you're trying to go really differential. So I'd probably see if you could just do Doughty to maybe someone else and avoid the -4 and keep Isak. But I'm just trying to think who would be good in that kind of 4.5 million Doughty price range for him. What do you reckon on that one, Rue?
I'd probably do it because it does sound like they're going for it. So I'd probably do it. And there's not, I don't know. And I think Gakpo could be a good option. He's been on form recently.
He's been
Liverpool
on fire.
Liverpool going to want to go out with a bang. So
I'll do it. I've just seen this comment. He just says he's trying to win his mini league.
Yeah, go for it. I reckon
he's got to do it. He's got to do it.
Yeah.
If you were to say you didn't have this 40-point cushion in the bragging rights league, right, and you were 7 points behind, would you take a -4 to make up those 7 points?
Yeah, definitely. Because like 7 points, it's not that much, is it? It depends on the other person's team, I think. Because last year I was about 20 odd behind, and I didn't go enough differential. I should have captained Kane. When I just think in my head, I probably didn't want to believe it was going to be his last game. We weren't really inklings that it was going to be his last game, but probably should have gone a bit.
Was it? Who do we play?
I don't know, but I think we battered them, to be honest.
Was it the game Lucas Moura scored that goal against Leeds? It was, wasn't it? It was Leeds.
Was it last game of the season? Oh yeah, it was last
Leeds,
game of the season. Yeah. I think we were losing at half time or something like that. Maybe
Lucas Moura scored that incredible goal. It was like his last kick of the game or something. I think it was.
I think Kane did well. Yeah, 4-1 it says here.
Yeah,
I think.
Okay.
But I should have gone even more differential. So I'd go for it. 7 points. I think it's a tough one with 7 points. It depends on their team. If they've got exactly the same team as you, then I would take the risk. But if you've already got differentials over your person that's above you, then maybe you don't need to go that much of a risk. Like, for example, I'd probably still captain Haaland, probably still keep the same players, and then maybe change one of the higher end players, maybe like Isak or even Son is pretty highly owned, and just go for maybe someone like Salah or Havertz or someone like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is hard now. Like, the game's changed in FPL. Like, so many teams in and around mini leagues are exactly the same as each other now. And like, to find differential, that's the only way you're going to get ahead, is literally picking those 5% and under differentials. Because you can look at teams in mini leagues, and I'd say 9 times out of 10 they're all very, very similar. The same players. The game just completely changed. So I agree with Rue. If you can, then go for it. We'll go on to Burnley versus Forest. I'll quickly preview it because I don't think any of us are really looking too much into their players. I know Q's got a Burnley player that he likes, but again, this isn't one I'm really keeping my eyes on. If you're going to really go differential from this, if you're a Forest fan, you can probably put Gibbs White in your team before he probably leaves in the summer. Forest technically still need to win the game. So, I think, again, they'll go for it without maybe going... Well, actually, no, maybe they will just tighten up and try not to concede too many goals. So I'll go with a 1-1, maybe a Gibbs White goal. Q, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I think 1-1. Looking at this fixture, I think their last, 5 games or 4 games, it's averaged just under 2 goals a game. So it's definitely screaming popcorn material. Sit back and enjoy. But I think Mdouni for me is a pick, and you're missing out on the most important game mode this week, and that's the FPL Challenge. So you're only allowed to have one person per team this week. So you got to be looking at.
But you're allowed what?
you're only allowed one player per team. So, so this is important analysis right here. And Dooney should be your Burnley pick for this week in his fixture because I think he can get the business done for the FPL Challenge people. And for the other people, yeah, I still probably wouldn't go there, but FPL Challenge 100%. Am Dooney, get him in.
I love it, mate. Honestly, I actually completely forgot FPL Challenge was even a thing. Like,
mate, the most important game mode.
It was the biggest waste of time from FPL. Like, you know, I just look at it and just think, like, I think I did it for the first game week, but then as soon as that bloke on Twitter found that loophole, I was like, this is the biggest waste of time. And like, I actually don't think. Look, there's probably a few people out there that are playing it and they really enjoy it, and they're
I've
like,
played it every week.
Have you actually?
Yeah, well, you know what I'd rather actually FPL? I would really like my Solly March goal from last season.
Yeah. Mate, I'm still waiting on a Christian Eriksen assist from like years ago against Man City. Like it's just, yeah, they're never giving it to us, mate. But we'll get your thoughts on the Burnley Forest game. Before we do, what do you think on FPL Challenge? Have you kept up with it?
No, not at all. I still do it. I still just do it if I remember, but yeah, but I don't. I just try and do something a bit different and see if I can get first. To be honest, but yeah, I haven't haven't done that.
If you can beat me this week, Matty, I'll send you another hat.
All right. I'll once the stream's done, I'll pick the challenge team then, and yeah, get myself another free FPL Amateurs of Oz hat. So
yeah, you have two heads down there in Melbourne, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Rue, all right. What's your prediction for this one? Anyone that you got your eyes on, or are you just not interested in this game?
Not for me, but I think if someone is going for it, maybe Hudson-Odoi. It's 3 goals in his last 2. I think high scoring game, 2-2 maybe. Burnley going to want to go out with a half decent performance, and then Forest pretty much safe, but I guess they just need to not lose 10-0 or whatever it is.
Yeah, imagine if it happened.
I like it.
Imagine goal rush. It's 10-0. Forest are down 10-0. Luton scoring the winning goal.
That'll be incredible. I think Hudson-Odoi is a nice shout. Talking about Burnley, actually, before we move away, they obviously been relegated. Vincent Kompany come in with a lot of hope this season. He's obviously hasn't changed the way he's played, and he's kind of stuck to his principles and stuff. Be interesting if they can go straight back up. I think if Burnley go straight back up next year, they will have to come back in the league and change it a little bit, or at least strengthen their playing squad or 11 to, be able to actually compete in games, because they've just lost. Some of the hammerings they've taken, it's just been poor. Like 5-0 at home, 6-0. Yeah, it is Ange Ball from Wish, but it's also like it's kind of like end of season current Ange Ball that we've seen, where we've just taken a few beatings as well. And I think it just shows that with Burnley in the Premier League, like we all want to see good football and we want to see teams play good football, but you can kind of see why Deitch played the way he did for so long with a squad like Burnley, because you still want to try and come to the Premier League and compete and win games. And I think Burnley, they've been gone for months for me. So that's a shame.
Good players like Vitinha at the back there. Vitinho, their wing back. He looks actually pretty solid. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets picked up by a side. Maybe Forest add another 20 plays in the off season, and he might be one of them.
Yeah, no, you're right. He looks good. They got a couple of shining lights, but we'll go into the Chelsea-Bournemouth game. I think this is quite a big one for FPL managers. A lot of people wanting a captain Palmer. There's people with Petrovic, Gusto, Nicholas Jackson. Decent picks to go through. There's obviously Nkunku, who FPL Rue mentioned as a huge differential. They've ended the season well, Chelsea. Bournemouth have had a really good season as well. But I think Chelsea are going to end on 3 points. I can see them getting a 2-0 win in this one, a solid 2 or 3-0 win. I think Jackson and Palmer will both be involved. So I think, they're kind of the key ones. I think you play the likes of Gusto. If he's in your team, I think this is a good fixture for him. Obviously, I would have said Reece James could have had his end of season pick, but he's just gone and got himself sent off. So we probably won't see him for a few weeks into next season. But Rue, what do you think on this one?
Yeah, questions need to be asked, I think, about Reece James, to be honest. He's injured all season. He's had 2 red cards this year as well. But yeah, I think Chelsea win this game 3-1. But yeah, Jackson, Palmer, and yeah, I still like Nkunku. I think he's going to start, and I think he'll do well. But the only thing is, he might come off early if the game's won, considering he's not long back from injury. But,
so you telling me I've got to put Nkunku in my FPL challenge team?
Yeah. Over Palmer though, you can only pick one. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Okay. No,
see, mate, it's high level stuff. This FPL challenge.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it, but it's not easy.
I just made my team while we're talking, so I'm all ready to go.
No, I like that Nkunku pick, Rue. I think there's, like we were saying earlier, I thought he was going to be better this season, but he got injured. Next year, I think if he does well in this game and he stays fit throughout the summer, because he's not going to the Euros, he didn't get picked. So I think if he stays fit and Chelsea have good fixtures at the start of next season, especially if they decide they want to keep Poch and Chelsea get good fixtures at the start of next season, I think they'll hit the ground running. Second season under Poch. So a lot of teams normally start the season how they end the previous season. It's quite common. And and Nkunku's someone definitely to keep tabs on for next year, because he come in with high hopes. So I like that. I like that pick, and I like the 3-1 kind of prediction. Q, what are your thoughts on this game?
Looking at this fixture, so Bournemouth haven't beat Chelsea since 2019. So I feel like that's a pretty good indicator on where I'm going to go with this. I think Chelsea are going to get the job done. I'm just going to ask you a question, mate. Is there any difference between finishing 5th and 6th?
In the league this season? I think 5th is definitely Europa League, and then 6th, is it now like Conference League?
Oh, actually, this is an important game for Chelsea, because I was just looking at the standings. So if Chelsea lose this fixture, United and Newcastle can both jump Chelsea
in them. Okay. Does 6th give you UEFA Cup Europa League this year, or is that FA Cup?
United win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So if United win the FA Cup, then a league place loses Europa League place. So I think it'll only be 5th.
Okay. But if
well, it could be.
City
it could be quite important.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be an important.
Chelsea get the Conference League.
Yeah, so this could be actually quite an important fixture, trying to get Europa League football. So I think Chelsea get the job done. Looking at Jackson, mate, 3 big chances missed in the last 4 games. So if that means anything, it could be a bit of a goal fest for Jackson this week, because surely he's not going to miss 4 and 5. So I think
you never know, mate. To be fair to Jackson, though, he gets very unlucky with the VAR calls. Like the offsides are like millimeters offside, and you just think if they were doing those World Cup or Champions League automated offside, whatever they are, where you get a little bit more leeway, Jackson would probably have another 5 goals. Like
it reminds me of a fella I used to play football with. He'd probably finish the season on 40 goals a season, but half of those are usually offside. So, but I think Jackson is a great pick, and I actually think Palmer is a decent captaincy option this week against Bournemouth as well. So, as you said about differential captains this week, I think Palmer has to be in that conversation.
100%, mate. And he ended up having a half decent week in game week 37 as well. So, just quickly going back on those Europe places. Just thinking about that now with what Rue was saying, and you were saying, Q, about where teams end up. If Chelsea end up in the Conference League, then, I don't know if I want that, because I feel like that's a competition they'll have a good chance of winning with the players they got. But then having them in the Europa League, which Spurs are going to probably be in next season, I don't know if I want that either, because that's another team that, if Spurs were to draw Chelsea, it's just, I'm just not sure if I want Chelsea anywhere near Europe at all, but they've done well to pull themselves back into it, which is, a bit of a pain. We'll bring up this comment from Siddharth. He's literally just said his team. So Raya, Gabriel, Garvidal, Bournemouth. I don't know what he means by that. Son, Foden, Palmer, Eze, Havertz, Jackson, Haaland, bench, Isak, to Gordon to Havertz. Okay, so he's done Gordon to Havertz. Just let us know what you mean by Bournemouth, mate, because I don't know if that's a Bournemouth defender or player. Do you need to do any more transfers? Well, I'll only say, I think we can only know if he needs to make transfers if we can find out who that Bournemouth defender is, to be honest. So let us know who that is, and then we can work it out. But if that isn't a Bournemouth defender and it's just, I don't know, a Dan Burn or someone, then I probably wouldn't make any more transfers. We'll give this one to you, Rue. FPL Pulisic has asked you to rate his team. So if you wanted to rate his team.
Okay, cool. So Perisic, White, Gabriel, Gavardio, Foden, Salah, Son, Palmer, Havertz, Mateta, Haaland. Yeah, it looks good to me. 9 out of 10, if you want an out of 10.
Huge.
I think, yeah, it looks good to me.
Mateta's been unbelievable as well lately.
Yeah.
Great pick.
You got the differentials in there. We got Mateta as a differential. You got double Arsenal defense, free City, Salah as well. Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, same. It's a strong team. Siddharth just come back and said it was a Bournemouth defender. So should I change him to someone else for a hit? We're looking at these fixtures. If you want to obviously target someone who might have a clean sheet, and with some attacking upside, if you could do a straight one for, I can't really recommend Spurs defenders. We concede so many goals. I was going to say like a Van der Ven, just because he might be playing on that left side. Someone cheap. You kind of got to gamble, but other than that, like, it's a tough one. Like, maybe just accept the fact that he might get 1 or 2 points and be done with it rather than take a hit. What do you think, Q?
I think, if you are going to take that hit, you want to go for that attacking upside. So I think like maybe a White or a Poro.
If you can afford him.
Yeah. Or if you've got a bit of money sitting around, maybe a Trent. As we noted earlier, like his attacking upside is ridiculous. He could easily get a goal and an assist.
I agree.
If you don't have the money, you got Robertson away.
Oh, yeah.
Luton, Fulham.
If you don't have one of Q's old picks.
Yeah, mate. Fulham.
Good pick.
They're going to farewell Luton with a Muniz hat-trick and a Robertson double-digit ball.
No, that's a really good pick, Ru. And maybe I need to keep this in mind for this challenge. I'm trying to build this team in my head for this challenge to get my free hat. So we'll give this one to you, Q. Mustafa's asked, Bruno and Maddison out for Salah and Eze, Elise, Trossard for a -4. If yes, then which one from the 3?
Bruno, that's actually a hard one because I like Bruno this week. But if you do want to take it, I think you would go Eze out of those 3. But I actually don't mind maybe just doing like a Maddison to Eze and keeping Bruno.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's really between I think they're all good. Eze, Elise, and Trossard. Elise and Trossard are probably the 2 I'd pick from there. They're the both ones on form. So probably say Elise maybe slightly edges it between those. Let's go on to talking of Palace and Elise. Let's go on to Palace Villa. I think Villa, they're probably completely on the beach now. 4th is done. It'll be the whole Villa will lose and everyone will say Spurs should have beat City and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't. Spurs did try in that game. It wasn't that they didn't try. They were just playing against the best team in the league. And Villa, they look like they're not even going to be that interested in this game from some of their partying for making the Champions League. So, I reckon Palace are going to come out. They're on fire at the moment and maybe win this one 2 or 3-0. I think they're going to be really good this week. And I like Mateta, Eze, and Elise. I like all 3 of them. If you're on the free hit, I'd probably pick at least 2 of the 3 and go for it. So, I'm liking that one. We'll go to you first, Ru, and then we'll go to you, Q. After.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same. I think I saw Villa's celebrations and it doesn't look like they'll be up for a game a few days later. So, I'm going for a home win. And again, the same. Elise, Eze, Mateta. Eze's obviously got pens, but Elise, not bad at free kicks. And it's just a take your pick, really. But I'd probably go for one of the midfielders and probably Elise, I'd say.
I agree. Q, anything different?
I didn't realise about the celebration part because I was nearly about to say I could see this being a high scoring from both sides. But I think there's going to be a minimum of 3 goals in this fixture. I can't tell you who's going to win. I'm probably just going to back Palace. But I think Eze and Elise are great picks. And, Eze seems to be a bit more advanced, gets into the box a lot more than Elise, but Elise's ball delivery and then obviously on set pieces as well probably gives him maybe a bit of an edge. But I'm going to back Eze in this fixture. I think he's a great pick.
No, I love it. Yeah, a lot of love for Eze. Siddharth, just for some no Spurs fan bias. If it was a one-off pick and I had to bench one of them today, I'd still bench Isak. I wouldn't be taking hits to sell Isak. I'm not getting that. I just think he's been on such good form. If I had to pick between one to start, it'd be Isak. What about you, Q?
Yeah, I've benched Isak. He's in my
Sorry, one to start would be Son. Sorry,
yeah,
one to start would be Son.
I've got the same issue, and I've benched Isak this week, and I'm starting Son, possibly captaining.
Wow. Yeah, same. Bench Isak, starting Son.
So where's all these people that are having a bench Isak? Is that because they're playing 4 at the back, 3 at the what's the?
I'm actually picking Muniz against Luton. So you know me, biggest Muniz fan. So
for me, I've got 5 good midfielders, and I'm going to do Gordon to probably Havertz, I think, but and then bench Isak.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't fancy Elise or Eze. Tiger and Guna, hope you're good, mate. Thinking of getting Elise for either Gordon or Son. It's got to be for Gordon if you're going to do it, because I think Gordon's potentially out of this game anyway. It sounds like Elise's form is ridiculous. So if you look at his last 3 or 4 game weeks, in 2 of them he's got 15 points or more, or 14 points or more. Both of them, I think, one of them was a home game, and then he had the Wolves game. And everything he's sort of touching at the moment just seems to turn to a goal. So, it's got to be Elise for Gordon. Q, what do you think on that one?
Yeah, I agree. I think, you'd have to go Gordon out.
Is that Rue?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm taking out Gordon. I think he'll play, but you just don't want to take that risk.
I agree. All right, we'll bring up FPL Pulitzer's question in a minute. We'll just quickly preview the last few games on what is the last deadline stream of the season. Liverpool Wolves, we'll just do a couple of favourite players. So I like Salah, Gakpo, and maybe just those 2, I think, this week. Salah and Gakpo. Definitely like Gakpo. I think Liverpool will win this game 4-0. I think they're going to give Klopp a send-off to remember. Q, what are your predictions?
Yeah, I think Salah, Gakpo, 2 really good picks. And if you like a bit of a differential, you can go the ramen noodles hairstyle in Elliot. That's a good differential pick. But I really like Gakpo and Salah this week for this fixture.
And Rue?
Yeah, same. Yeah, Salah. I was going to say Elliot as well, actually. I think he's doing well recently. Got an assist midweek. But again, it's only if you want to take a massive risk. But I think he can do all right.
I think he's responding to all of the hate. I was in a group chat pretty much just paying him out because he was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, he was so poor the other week, and I said, "Oh, who is this guy?" And then next week he scored, and then I think he scored again. So
yeah, he looks a good talent. Elliot does. We'll go to Luton Fulham. I wouldn't recommend any Luton players this week. I know they're going for it, but not interested in any of their players. Fulham, we spoke about Muniz and Robinson. Great picks, especially Muniz. And I think Fulham will win this one 3-1. Muniz with a goal, at least a goal. Maybe Robinson with an assist or 2. Q?
Yeah, no, I think could be like a 2-3 goals for Fulham, maybe 1 for Luton. I'm in a difficult spot in this. I've got Kaminsky in goals, and I've got Muniz up top. So maybe Muniz misses 5 chances, still scores 2, but creates about 7 saves. So
hey, it's happened.
He's
had games where he's made like 10 saves.
I think I've had Kaminsky since my bench boost in 27.
Yeah, he's just not.
And I hate getting out keepers, but this is a question for you guys. Would you take a -4 this week to move on to another keeper? Because I've got 6 million in the bank, so I can get.
Who's your other keeper with him?
Neto
from Bournemouth. I don't know. Let's be real.
Would you go for like a?
What about Ortega? Have you tripled up in City already?
Just trying to think. No, I've got out KDB, so I've got 1 City spot left.
Maybe you could go Ortega, and City could see he gets a lot of saves when he plays.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they need a goal in the last minute, and he goes up for the header.
Yep.
You never know.
I think I've realised that
I've got an Arsenal
goalkeepers.
spot. I've got an Arsenal spot, and I've got a City spot.
Yeah, maybe Raya or take your pick, whichever one you can afford. I think I've realised with keepers, though, mate, is like, and this happened to me in the double game week. I think I went for Ederson against Forest, thinking, Ederson will get a clean sheet, which City did, but Ederson got injured, so ended up with 1 point. And then Petrovic got the clean sheet against Spurs in the second game. And after conceding goals in the first one, and I realised with keepers, when it's a double game week, like or single game, but like it's I wouldn't take hits to bring in keepers or take out keepers because they can still end up with 3 or 4 points just by playing the game. So and from saves, so yeah, I'd probably do that one with a bit of caution. We'll quickly bring up. We'll do the questions at the end. Actually, we'll just do City versus West Ham. Also, what was your score prediction for Luton Fulham? Q, did you do the prediction? You did the score prediction.
Yeah, I think I just copied you 3-1.
Yeah. All right, let's do potential champions for a fourth year in a row. Man City against West Ham on David Moyes' last game. A lot of people aren't really speaking about the fact this is David Moyes' last game at West Ham. He's had a really good few years there. Sure. He's had a few really good years there. They've got to a Europa League final. They've got to a Conference League final and won. But yeah, their form's dropped. I think City are going to come out. I don't think it's going to be as easy as we all think, but I think they'll win the game. I'll go with a 3-0. Maybe a couple of late goals. Haaland's going to bang a couple. So for me, it's all about Haaland. Garvadol's just going to absolutely destroy it like he has. I'm still not in my team. I messed up not bringing him a wild card. Don't want to talk about it any further. I know Rue's the same, and he doesn't want to talk about it any further. So probably Garvadol, Foden, and Haaland.
I'm happy to talk about it.
And we'll leave it at that. So yeah, 3-0 City. Rue, any thoughts on that game? Anything that we've missed?
No, just praying for a City win. Probably 4-1. I think they always end up conceding one, but yeah, just the same old assets. Foden,
give me your first title as well as a City fan.
Honestly, watching their games just makes you realise, like, wow, it's so easy supporting a good team.
I know you watch it and you think, God, they're good, aren't they? Q, what do you think on this one?
I think 2-1 to City. I think I have a feeling that West Ham are going to score. It's going to be 1-0. People are going to be freaking out. There's going to be Arsenal fans. Yeah. Haaland in his fixture, I think 4 goals in his last 3 against West Ham. It's great form for him. I really hope he does. I hope this is the game where Foden just gets 2 goals and everyone else is like filthy because they either don't have Foden or they've captain Haaland. But yeah, I could see this being quite tight. And West Ham taking the early lead and sending Twitter and every single group chat in the world into meltdown and people thinking maybe Arsenal can win the title for then City to score 2 goals in the second half to take the win. So, yeah, I think it could be quite a good game, and I'm hoping that it's like that, not just like City winning 4-0 at halftime. So, but yeah, I'm back in West Ham, Damo. I'm sure you boys can at least get in the road for 60 minutes.
No, I'd take that. Give them hope and then crush them.
Yeah, right. So that would be nice. All right, and we wouldn't be before we just finish off the last couple of questions. Yeah, of course, last one is Sheffield United Spurs. Very fitting having myself and Rue on the stream for this one, and obviously Q, who's effectively is a Spurs fan whilst Andy's in charge. So
I've been a Spurs fan 37 weeks more than you guys. I mean, 1 more week than you guys.
You're not, mate. You're not lying. You're not lying. It's true. He's in it thick and thin. So this one it's tough. Like Sheffield United are obviously been awful. They're relegated, but Spurs we've defended poorly for a while now. We've won 1 game in 5, and even that we just got over the line against Burnley. It wouldn't be the first time that Spurs go to a relegated team on the last day of the season and don't get a result. I remember that Newcastle one all those years ago. We lost 5-1 and they'd been relegated that year. But I can't see that happening this one. I think we'll win the game. I think we'll concede because we don't keep clean sheets. Unfortunately, I hope that changes next season. But I'm going to go hopefully 3-1. Hopefully we get a win. End up in 5th, above Chelsea, above Man United, above Newcastle. Above a few of those smaller sides. So fingers crossed. I think Son is a good pick. I think hopefully it's Pedro Porro can get an attack in return. Probably where I'd leave it with us. There's no one else in that kind of attack. Don't mind Brennan Johnson, but again, there's just a bit of a lack of conviction in a lot of our attacking players, I think. And I'd really just be aiming for Son and Porro. I would have said Rich Arlison if he was fit, but other than that, I think that's kind of where it is for me. For me and Spurs for this last day of the season. So fingers crossed we get the 3 points. Rue, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's got to be an easy win. Gonna go for 4-0. Why not?
Ooh,
and
huge.
To be honest, I think Kula came on the other night. He looks pretty good. So I think he's going to start this game, and I think he's going to go Brennan Johnson through the middle, Son on the left. I don't know why. I just think he's going to try something new, and I think Johnson could do well. To be honest, hopefully 3 points, secure that Europa League spot, and move on to the big game on Tuesday night against Newcastle and Melbourne.
Obviously got the big game, the friendly 3 days after a season. How ridiculous. But anyway, love it, Rue, love it. Q, your thoughts?
I'm going to say 5-0 to Spurs.
Yes, Q.
I think Ange probably choked a couple of people out after last game. I feel like he knows how to fire a side up. We've seen, I know in the A-League, when he was at Brisbane, they had a poor result, fired up the team, come out, and they just looked unbelievable. So I think, I could see a massive turnaround this week for Spurs and finishing the season on a high. And I'm actually, to go against what you said about conceding goals, I actually just bought Vicario in for a -4 as my goalkeeper this week. So I needed the perfect storm, which is a team that could possibly keep a clean sheet, but also concede a lot of shots. And Spurs, I feel like, are perfect for that. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets 6 or 7 saves in this game and they keep the clean sheet. So I think he's a great pick for people looking at a differential keeper for this week that are probably stuck with Kaminsky and Neto like myself. And Son, I'm actually think he's a really good captaincy option. And a lot of hate online I've seen over the last couple of days saying that Son's finished and they should sell him next season, but he's an unbelievable player. So I think this is the game that he could actually come out, and those half chances that he gets, I think he could bang a couple away. So I think he's a great pick. And Brennan Johnson, my second favourite Spurs player, I think he's a good pick as well.
No, I love it, Q. I love all the confidence. And I obviously loved all your thoughts on Ange this season on the stream. And it's great to have obviously at least half a Spurs fan, another Spurs fan on there. Not like me and Rue just decide to abandon our team for a game week, but it was for good reason.
I was on there fighting people on Talk Sport saying, nah, he's
Brilliant. Love it. I love it. Ange's son. Q's Ange's son.
Yeah, dude, they talk about dad like that.
We'll go into our last couple of quick thoughts. Best captain, definitely Haaland. Q?
Yeah.
I think Salah, Son tied at the top with Palmer are close third.
Okay. Yeah, Rue?
Yeah, I think Haaland, and then maybe Salah if you want to go differential.
I love it. Tiger and Guna, I've got Haaland as triple captain and Palmer as vice captain, or anyone else as vice captain. If I had the triple captainship and needed those extra points, it'd be Haaland for me. Last question from Glenn. What do you think would be the better move? Gordon to Havertz or Bruno? I'd probably say Havertz edges it. Havertz edges it. I'd say Havertz, yeah. Rue?
I'll say Bruno.
Bruno for Q, Rue?
I'd say Havertz as well, but now I didn't even think about Bruno. I can afford that exact move. So
it's a game where it could be quite open.
I've never let you down before, mate.
Yeah, Q never lets anyone down for FPL. All right, well, look, thanks to Q, FPL Amateurs of Oz for coming on, FPL Rue. Go give them both a check as well. Quentin, you can find him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, also on Google, FPL Amateurs of Oz. So go and check him out at FPL Rue as well. You can find him on YouTube, so go onto his channel and subscribe if you haven't done already. Give this channel a subscribe if you haven't done. Give the video a like. And we'll look to sign off now. Before I do, I'll get you both just to rate your FPL season and then just give me a quick yes or no if you're going to be playing Euro Fantasy. So rate your season out of 10, Q. What would you give it?
I reckon a 6.
6?
I was, 2.2 million in halfway through the season, and I've worked my way up to I'm like 380k now, so not terrible, and I've had a bit of fun on the way, bit of misery, but that's all good. And Euro Fantasy, I've conned Matt into doing a bit of FPL content, so we'll be doing some Euro Fantasy content. And like me, I'm a football addict, so any type of fantasy, I'll be playing it.
No, I love it, mate. And look, I think if you're finishing anywhere in the top 500k these days, regardless of what you see some of these managers online get and stuff, you've got to look at it and think, if you're finishing in the top 500k, where you've probably got about 3 to 4 million managers that are heavily engaged in FPL now, where they're all copying everyone's teams. The biggest FPL content creators have got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They're all copying those guys' teams. If you can just get in the top 500k, it's a pretty decent season. Look, everyone wants top 10k, everyone wants top 50, everyone wants top 100, but it is getting harder. So I think if you're coming in 380k this year, mate, I'd probably bump that up to at least a 6.5, 7.
I haven't owned Haaland for the last 6 weeks, so I've missed out on all of those points. So
at least you gave it a go. But I think, if you're hitting top 500k, let's be honest, mate, that's a lot better than last season's misery that we both entailed. So, nice one, mate. And cheers for coming on the pod this season. Rue, give your season sort of a rate. Obviously, I know you've won a couple of, hopefully win a couple of mini leagues tonight, but
don't talk too soon. God. I reckon, I've got to give it an 8, I think.
Yep.
8.
Awesome.
I'm happy with how it ended, and we'll be playing Euros Fantasy. But I think we've got to cut ourselves some slack. I think, I don't know, maybe you two, I guess, don't feel it, but me having been in the UK and played it and been in Australia, it's hard. I think it's much harder to play this game with the 2 a.m. deadline sometimes, or we might not get certain team news or stuff like that. We might not even be able to watch, I guess, as much unless we're staying up till 3-4 a.m. So
we got a couple of times to rule me the old leagues before the deadline. I think I took a -4 to bring Foden in, and then he was sick at the last minute, even though someone said that he'd been sick for about a week. So
no, I agree. And I agree with you there, Rue. It can be difficult on the other side of the world with the deadlines and stuff. But 8 out of 10, strong result. Teams finishing in sort of, what do you think, top 150k, top 200k, maybe top 100?
Hopefully top 150. I'm 165 now, so cool. Hopefully 150.
I'm backing you, mate. You're going to win the mini leagues and finish in the top 150.
And again, it's a decent season. You'll take it, and you can move on. Thing is about this game, this is what a lot of people look at ranks. And they try and have the best ranks every season, but and that's great. But you could have a season where you finish 2 million, and then the following year you could have an incredible score. And it's like, you just don't know. There's a lot of luck. Oh, sorry, go Rick.
Yeah, so this season's been funny because I brought in Son before his hat trick against Burnley, because I just felt like Andrew's going to put him through the middle, and then I went from 5 million to 50k because I had Alvarez that week. Haaland got 4 goals or whatever it was.
Yeah, you were on fire that week. I remember that.
But then from then I got 12 red arrows. So it's just funny, it doesn't really matter. We think about red arrows, green arrows each week, but really you only need one good green arrow, and it kind of sets you up for a while.
No, 100%. And I think I saw the biggest swing this season in that game week 33 when Isak and Gordon got 30 plus points for Newcastle, and all the people that had wildcarded early end up with all these big points that game week, and Gvardiol at the end of the season, and the free hit people from game week 34 that got 20 or 30 points more than the people and that kind of killed the season off. I think I'm going to end up probably around, I think I'm 190k now, 195k. I'm probably going to end up hopefully around 180k. But similar to Rue, there was a point where this season I think I was sitting 64k-ish. Bear in mind that was only for a couple of weeks, but around that point I was like, okay, what can I do to keep this score or get even more? But thing is, it's difficult. It really does come down to the how you play that second wild card, because historically I've always played that second wild card a bit earlier, and the last 2 years I've played it as late as possible to try something different. It just hasn't worked. Doing a wild card in game week 35 has just been an awful idea because it's given me 3 weeks to try and get something, and you're navigating everything else with transfers and hits before that. So that's probably something I'm going to change next season. I'm going to give myself a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because the reason it's not any higher, the reason it's not lower is because last year was an awful season for me. Finished outside the top mill for the first time in a long time. Got done by Haaland early on, and just a season I didn't do as well. And then this year, I wouldn't give it higher because only 5 or 6 game weeks ago, I was probably sort of more aiming for that kind of top 100k finish, maybe even top 50k. And I lost a bit of ground. Didn't on the wild card. I didn't bring in Gameweek when he was in my initial draft. Just don't know why I didn't hit it, and because of that, I had to start changing my captains the last few weeks to chase those bragging rights mini leagues. And I've kind of finished 3rd and 4th in those, and I've lost. I'd won them for a long time. The last 2 years, I've now kind of sort of not going to win that kind of bragging rights league. And it's 2 years in a row now without winning it. I feel a bit like Man United, where I've kind of lost a bit of the magic. So I've got to give myself a 7 because I've still qualified for the Champions League, but I don't feel like I've ever was in a position. I just feel like I've kind of bottled it a bit at the end. So I've got to give myself a 7. But next year, I think I want to try and change the way I play FPL. I think I've let the game take over my life a bit too much the last few weeks in terms of the scores and the massive scores from like Gameweek. I think next year I want to try and see if I can keep the key players early on, like your Haalands and, I don't know, your Salibas or Gabriels or whoever it might be. And I think FPL should price the players better next season as well. I think they will. So I want to try and keep those, but also try and get on those differentials earlier next year. Maybe have a slightly different team at the start. And because I've just found this season, similar to last year, and you remember Q as well, where it's just become so template and so template and hard to really gain ranks compared to previous years.
Yeah. No, I've actually just looked at our mini league, and I'm actually 9 points behind the person heading into this week. So I'm probably going to go differential captain this week, I think.
No, I love it. Any last words, Rui, before we wrap up?
Yeah, and I think like we were talking about the season, there's been a lot of injuries. We've had AFCON, Asia Cup. It's been a lot of hasn't been a simple season.
What's the old saying? Just one normal year of Barclays. Is that what they say online? I just want one normal year of Barclays. One normal year. We had World Cup last year. We had COVID the year before. We had bloody this. Like next year, I don't think there's any tournaments next year. No tournaments.
Sure, they'll find one.
Yeah.
Or is there like that new? There's a new Champions League format. It's going to have an extra 4 or 5. So there's always this thing about this game. But we'll all be back next season. Q, any last words?
Just get on United assets this week. We're going out for one last hurrah.
I love it. Well, thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Glenn, thanks for listening into the whole stream, mate. Really appreciate it. And everyone that's tuned in tonight, everyone that's tuned in all season, really appreciate all of the support and everyone that's subscribed to the channel. So thanks a lot, everyone. If the season hasn't gone your way, then don't worry. In a couple of months, we do it all again. You get a fresh start. Everyone starts at 0. If you've had a good season, congrats on whatever rank you've got, and if you've won mini leagues. But we'll leave it there. I'm FPLMattDay. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in, and I'll see you all for Euro Fantasy, and I'll see you all next season for more FPL content. Bye for now.